Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another SBR video, College Football Picks Against the Spread. I'm your host, Bouchard. And guys, we are coming off a great week here, going 5-2-1 last weekend. That now brings our record to 25-15-2 on the year, which is 62.5%. Obviously, we're looking to keep that momentum rolling into the next week. So, rolling right into our first official play here in week 7. My goodness, can't believe it's already week 7. But guys, we're going to be backing up the Auburn Tigers minus 6.5 point favorites on the road against the struggling LSU defense. With that being said, Auburn, clearly they're playing some great football here. If they can stop Darius Guice, that's going to be the key for them. I do believe this defense is good enough to stop Darius Guice. With that being said, we're going to be backing up the Tigers on the road here in a great SEC matchup. Next up, we got the Washington State Cougars minus 14-point favorites on the road against Cal. Don't look too deep into this game. Cal, they're really not that strong. Washington State Cougars, man, they're looking to be for real. I look for Luke Falk to have himself a great game. I look for the running game of the Cougars to be strong as well, and I just don't feel like 14 points will be enough for Cal to cover. That's right, guys. We're going to be looking up to backing up the Cougars minus 14-point favorites on the road. Next up, we got the West Virginia Mountaineers minus 3-point favorites at home, looking for them to cover as they will be hosting Texas Tech Red Raiders. There is a good chance here that perhaps West Virginia isn't nearly as great as many of us thought after losing last week. But with that being said, one thing throughout the start all the way to this point of the season that has remained consistent is the fact that Will Grier is an absolute stud. He, as well as the running game of Crawford, I feel like those two have been really consistent. I feel like at home with a very small point spread to cover, I feel like West Virginia will get the job done. Texas Tech's defense is just not the greatest. While this game might be a shootout, West Virginia might also force a few turnovers. I like the value here, so we're going to go with the Mountaineers minus 3-point favorites at home. Next up, guys, we're going to be looking to back up arguably one of the hottest teams in college football with the TCU Horned Frogs minus 5.5 on the road. They're going to be playing Kansas State. Guys, Kansas State has not looked too good. I do get that they were, highly ranked for the start of the season, but man, oh man, this TCU defense has been looking absolutely superb. Clearly, they're able to put up points as well. I feel like 5.5, even though that they're on the road, it's not going to be enough for Kansas State to cover. I love the spread here. It's definitely favorable, and the value's there. That's right, guys. We're going to be backing up the TCU Horned Frogs at minus 5.5. Next up, guys, we're going to be backing up those Memphis Tigers minus 3-point favorites. They're going to be hosting Navy. I do understand that Navy runs the ball really well. They chew up some clock, but minus 3 points really isn't a lot for a team to cover, especially when they're at home. Memphis does a great job throwing the ball. I feel like Navy's going to have a tough time stopping that. And on the contrary, Memphis' defense should be able to stop Navy's run-heavy offense. With that being said, guys, minus 3-point favorites at home, we're going to be taking them. Next up, guys, we're going to be backing up the Ohio State minus 24-point favorites on the road, primetime game against Nebraska. The Buckeyes absolutely demolished Maryland, who I personally believe is a better team than Nebraska. With that being said, Urban Meyer clearly not afraid to run up the score. Last year, the Buckeyes also put up 60 points against a weaker Nebraska team. Primetime game, Buckeyes thrive in those. This spread is just going to be way too small. Buckeyes should actually win by probably 35-ish points here. Back up them Buckeyes. Next up, guys, we're going to be backing up UCLA minus 1-point favorites on the road against Arizona. This game should be a shootout, but, probably the best quarterback in college football in Josh Rosen. Single-handedly, he should be able to win a shootout game like this. With the spread being so small, we're really going to have to rely on Josh Rosen and the UCLA Bruins defense to get the job done. But the value's too good here for me to pass up, so I'm going to be pulling that trigger on the UCLA Bruins, minus 1 point. And our last official play here of Week 7 college football picks against the spread is going to have to be backing up the Oregon Ducks plus 10.5-point underdogs on the road against a tougher Stanford team. Now I do realize Washington State put an absolute beat down on Oregon last week, but Oregon's still a tough team. They tend to come back, especially after losing big ball games as such. Even though they're on the road against Stanford, Stanford really hasn't been clicking too much other than Bryce Love. I feel like Oregon's run defense should be able to put a big enough stop on Bryce Love, kind of, you know, switch the momentum there. With that being said, I do love the 10.5 points here for Oregon. I feel like they're a much better football team than most of us are giving them credit for. So 10.5 points, even though they're on the road against Stanford, we're going to be backing up them Oregon Ducks. And there you guys have it. Those are our official plays for Week 7 of college football picks against the spread. I definitely hope you guys found some value here. And until next week, guys, keep cashing.